Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Day to Day, the podcast where we explore the joys and challenges of everyday life. I'm Emma.
And I'm Alex. Whether it's personal growth, navigating relationships, or just tackling the chaos of the day, we're here to talk about it all and hopefully help you along the way.
So grab your coffee, tea, or whatever keeps you going.
And let's dive into today's episode.
Today, we're diving into a topic that hits close to home for many of us: expectations in intimate relationships. You know, those unspoken hopes and dreams that we secretly wish our partners would just instinctively know about and fulfill.
Oh, totally. We're talking about those times when we whip up a gourmet dinner and expect at least a thank you or, dare I say, a dishwashing partner in crime, right?
Exactly. And instead, we might get someone who just dives into their phone on the couch, leaving us stewing in frustration. It's like, are our expectations too high, or is this just a standard bit of human decency that's being overlooked?
Well, it's fascinating because these unmet expectations often lead us to question whether we're being unreasonable or if we're justified in wanting a certain level of attention or appreciation.
Right? And it's not just about day-to-day stuff, but also those deeper emotional needs, wanting our partners to listen or be there when we're feeling down, but sometimes they give us the old, just sleep on it line.
And there comes this overwhelming sense of not being valued or supported, despite all the effort we put into the relationship, which can be a real emotional roller coaster.
Absolutely. What we're dealing with, it seems, is the concept of covert contracts. These are those unspoken agreements that, I'll do X and you'll do Y, like cooking and dishwashing or emotional support.
Yeah, and it's funny because we often don't even realize these contracts are there until they're broken. One partner ends up wondering why the other can't just read their mind.
That's so true. And it gets tricky when these expectations aren't communicated clearly. You think you're dropping hints, but really everyone's just left guessing.
So, could we say that these unspoken contracts are basically sabotaging our relationships by setting us up for disappointment?
Precisely. And what's crazy is that they can change over time. At the start of a relationship, expectations might be lower, but as things progress, they can escalate without us even noticing.
Right. Like before you were thrilled with a smile across the room, but now you expect a surprise weekend getaway as par for the course.
And if these changes aren't voiced and mutually understood, they can lead to conflicts and that painful feeling of being let down.
So, how do we tackle these invisible pacts? Is it about turning them into overt contracts, making them explicit?
Pretty much. It involves having open, sometimes awkward conversations, making sure both partners understand and agree on the expectations.
And isn't it about vulnerability too? Like sharing those personal insecurities and past experiences that shape why we expect certain things.
Exactly. Being honest about our needs without fearing rejection can help build a stronger connection. It's not easy, but it often leads to better intimacy and mutual respect.
But let's be real. Sometimes laying all this out can feel like stepping into a minefield. What if your partner reacts defensively?
That's a valid concern. It's about focusing on your own expectations rather than accusing your partner of falling short. It's about creating a safe space for dialogue.
And maybe embracing that negotiation is part of the package. Like both sides have to come to a mutual understanding through discussions and compromises.
Yep, it might take a few go-rounds before landing on an agreement that feels fair for both. It's like haggling, but for our emotional needs.
So is it about finding the right balance between those soft-spoken dreams and the realities of everyday life?
Definitely. It's about moving from these unrealistic fantasies of perfect mind-reading partners to genuine communication based on understanding and empathy.
And hey, even if it means feeling a bit exposed and vulnerable, it sounds like the reward is building a relationship built on real trust and connection.
Exactly. So if you find yourself in this invisible contract trap, it might be time to have that uncomfortable conversation. After all, growth only happens when we're willing to face those tough topics.
Before wrapping up, just a little food for thought. Maybe these contracts are not about finding the perfect partner, but about becoming partners who are perfect for each other.
I love that. Well, listeners, that's all for today's dive into the complex world of relationship expectations. Remember, open communication is key. Until next time.